welcome back to the Soccer Brothers Podcast. This is episode number 58. I'm your host, Sahil, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Nihal. How you doing, Nihal?
I'm doing really well, man. This is episode 58, which means we're only 2 episodes away to episode 60, which is when Landon Donovan will be joining us on the Soccer Brothers Podcast. We have already conducted the interview. We had a great conversation with him. He's so insightful, and he's such a nice guy, too. And we're obviously excited to share that with you guys. We're also close to the website going live. Actually, by the end of this weekend, the website should be live. That's our goal. So yeah, I'm excited, man. What about you? How are you doing?
Well, I was kind of excited for this international break because I've been pretty demoralized about how Roma's been doing. So it was refreshing to see a good result and us play well. But it's nice to have you back. In the last episode we recorded, my brother was at college and I'm at home. Now we're both at home. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it's a long weekend.
Yeah. Our parents are off at a wedding and you can't take care of yourself. So
that's not true. I definitely could have taken care of myself.
No, I know. We also had our fantasy draft last night. We have a league with our friends. So that's basically
fantasy football.
Yeah, fantasy football. That's basically why I'm in town. So. How do you feel about your draft, man?
I think I may have taken a quarterback too early, but I thought Cam Newton was good enough to take, in the second or third round.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really don't know. I really don't want to say anything about my team before.
Right. There's a lot of gambles. I feel the same way about my draft. I took Todd Gurley with the second overall pick. I could have maybe gone with a more sure player like Odell Beckham or something. But, it's interesting. There's a lot of question marks this year. But that's the wrong kind of football. We are the Soccer Brothers Podcast. Before we talk about soccer, though, let's talk about the amazing soccer-themed apparel brand named Ambitious Strike. They have some great clothing. If you want to go check them out, go to ambitiousstrike.com. That's AMBITIOUSSTRYK.com. The link is in the description. If you choose to buy some clothing, which you should, you're missing out if you don't, use the code BROTHERS at checkout for a 15% discount on your entire order.
Yes, go check them out. The U.S. took St. Vincent and the Grenadines on September 2nd, Friday. The U.S. came in with 7 points going to the group. St. Vincent and the Grenadines were already eliminated with 0 points, and it turned out to be a 6-0 win for the U.S., and now we have 10 points, and we're looking to the game against Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday. Overall, how did you think the U.S. played in this game?
I mean, they were okay. It's hard to really evaluate these matches and say, oh, this means the USA can take this and use it going forward, because this is a team we should be beating 6-0. And it's more of just an exercise, and we saw it at the end of the match. The U.S. players were basically just going through the motions and just walking around, really. Overall, they played okay. I thought Bobby Wood was decent, except for that early miss in, I think, the second minute, which he should have scored. The defense was pretty good. I thought DeAndre Yedlin looked good. I was hoping that Fabian Johnson would have more of an impact from midfield than he did. Josie Altidore looks fit again. I think, maybe his first touch wasn't that great, but he looks fit again, which is really nice. And obviously the game changed. We had a little bit more energy and a little bit more going forward when Sasha Klejsten and Christian Pulisic came on. Definitely. So those are just my initial thoughts. But what about you? What would you think about this match?
I agree with... I was watching ESPN FC after this game, and Craig Burley was really spot on. There is no really winning from this game in terms of the fans, because you're expected to go in there and beat them, and the U.S. took care of the job. You can't really say anything about the game. But if you do only win 2 or 3-0, then you have a lot of questions. So, in that way, there's kind of pressure, but, I think we handled it pretty professionally. Right. Went in there and got the job done. Now, in the first half, we saw... a lot of the striking pair that we were, pretty excited about, Bobby Wood and Josie Altidore. I wasn't too excited. I feel like Josie Altidore wasn't playing the same kind of role that I wanted him to play, and I feel like maybe I wanted to see, Josie Altidore with the hold-up play, Bobby Wood overlapping it, but I feel like Josie Altidore was coming too far back to the ball, and I think part of that was we do have Kyle Beckerman in the midfield and Graham Zusi, who didn't, want to penetrate, that much and allow Josie Altidore to just stay up there.
Yeah.
So I think if you do put a Darlington Nagbe up there, add some more creativity, then we could have seen more out of the striking partnership. But I was still a little bit disappointed about how that worked.
Yeah, we saw Bedoya drop pretty much flat with Beckerman at times, especially on defense. So that's why Altidore did drop back more, especially in the first half. I think as the first half went on, Wood also started dropping. But I think that was Josie's role in this match, to be more of a replacement for Clint Dempsey, in that he was going to drop down, he was going to go out wide, and have Bobby Wood stay central, which is where he's good at. And we know that Josie Altidore is actually decent with the game ahead of him, with the ball at his feet, where he can read, where he can pass it. So I don't know if I object to that too much. I think that's just a product of not having a true attacking midfielder and playing a 4-4-2. If we're playing a 4-2-3-1 like we did at times during the Copa America, and you have Clint Dempsey behind a striker, then Clint Dempsey sort of fills that role. But this formation allowed Josie Altidore to do it, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, to be honest. I think going forward, I would actually like to see a 4-3-3 with Bobby Wood by himself up top, and Fabian Johnson and Christian Pulisic out wide. I think that's what I would like to see. I think that's the next step, and I think that's how we can play some really good soccer with, players like Nagbe, Bradley, and Bedoya in the midfield.
Yeah.
Obviously that kind of lineup is probably going to get overrun by a team like Spain or Germany or something, but
we should be able to match up in the hex with pretty much any of these teams with that attacking lineup.
Right.
What kind of striking partnership, or I guess if we were to play two strikers again against Trinidad and Tobago, would you want to see the same thing? Yeah,
I think maybe since we're pretty much qualified for the tournament, Guatemala we'd have to lose. If we lost 1-0, say, Guatemala would have to win 11-0 against St. Vincent to qualify. So we haven't done it yet. We're not into the hex yet, but we're pretty much qualified. I think maybe we see Jordan Morris get a start with Bobby Wood up top. I would be very excited to see that. I would like to see Darlington. Well, you only asked me about strike partnership. So yeah, I would like to see Jordan Morris and Bobby Wood start up top together. But I would like to see 4-3-3. I would like to see one striker. That's what I'd like to see.
So you talked about Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood in the 28th minute had a great curling shot, and it was barely an assist by Fabian Johnson, but it was still an assist. And you are right. Josie Altidore did have the initial pass to get into Fabian Johnson, and just a great shot by Bobby Wood.
Yeah, Josie Altidore. It seems like kind of over elaborated there. It looked like he had the run to the side, but he held onto the ball. He sort of lost it, and then somehow, he always seems to do this, he somehow gets the ball back and was able to play it to Fabian Johnson. Fabian touches it to Bobby Wood in a great curling effort, and he scored the hard one and missed the easy one.
Yeah, in the second minute, he definitely should have scored.
Yeah.
In the 32nd minute, then Beasler got a second goal. Zuzi's free kick floats, and then it was just a bad clearance by St. Vincent, and it fell to Matt Beasler, who scored a half volley. It was a great strike, and that's his first international goal, so pretty exciting for him.
Yeah, very exciting for him. On the same day, his wife gave birth to his daughter, so which obviously is well documented with the celebration and everyone talking about it afterwards. But yeah, so great strike by him, and there's not too much to say besides that. A terrible clearance by the St. Vincent and Grenadine defender.
Yeah, and then we went into halftime 3-0, but it wasn't until the third goal from Josie Altidore off a penalty kick where Bobby Wood was making a run, took a couple touches, and just kind of an ill-advised challenge from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Deservingly, Josie Altidore went to the spot and hit a pretty good penalty kick.
Yeah, good penalty kick. Great skill by Bobby Wood to draw the penalty. He flicked it up to himself and took it down, and that's when the St. Vincent and Grenadines defender sort of kicked him in the chest. But it was the last 17 minutes of the first half were good to get 3 goals, especially I was starting to get frustrated before Bobby Wood's goal. We had that chance early on in the second minute, but there was really nothing in between the second and 28th minute when Bobby Wood scored.
Yeah, and then the second half began, and one of the things that I noticed is that DeAndre Yedlin did take quite a beating in this game. It was he just got a lot of challenges. What did you think about his performance overall? And it's good to see now that I think we can confirm that DeAndre Yedlin is a fullback as part of Jurgen Klintz's plans.
I think he looked good. I thought he made really good overlapping runs. His touch was good. His recovery was good. I think a couple of times maybe he was a little bit out of position. But, it's hard to blame him against the opposition for wanting to get forward. Overall, I thought he had a really good match. I think he was solid defensively. One opportunity comes back into my mind where he tracks back, steals it off the defender, passes it back to Guzan, and the U.S. have the ball again. So I thought he did a good job, especially since we saw St. Vincent's wingers were actually not that bad. They were skillful. Alex Anderson, obviously, who sort of was playing a striker-winger hybrid, is a good player who plays for the Sounders and also for St. Vincent. And I think he really wanted, because the goal St. Vincent scored against the U.S. the first time was sort of DeAndre Yedlin's fault last year. So I think in this match you could really see the improvement he made in the last year as a defender. You saw it more so in the Copa America because we were playing better teams, but I think he
except for that handball.
Right. Well, that's not really,
that's not really,
that's not an indictment on his defending ability. Right. But I think he'll continue to get better with Newcastle. So I don't know. He's definitely the first choice right back.
Yeah, I agree. But the half really changed, as you said before, in the 66th minute, where Bedoya and Fabian Johnson went off, and Sasha Klejstin and Christian Pulisic came on, and these two just had a special connection going throughout the game.
Right. There was 3 goals. Christian Pulisic scored 2 and assisted on 1. Klejstin scored the other and assisted on Pulisic's 2 goals.
The first one was in the 71st minute where Sasha Klejstin played a really nice ball onto his left side where Pulisic made a great run and a great touch.
Yeah.
And eventually a nice left-footed finish to pass St. Vincent the Grenadines keeper.
A great pass. Good pressure from Graham Zusi there. Was able to get it to Sasha Klejstin. The touch was incredible. And we sort of just were like, it's hard not to get excited about a player like that when you see that type of skill. I don't think since Landon Donovan, we haven't had a player who just impacts the game like that, who's direct and is going to go at you.
He makes everyone look better, too.
He does.
Talon Acosta was starting to make overlapping runs.
Right.
Too.
He's just such an intelligent player. And I don't know how Graham Zusi starts over him. See, and this is the thing. People are like, he's not playing at Dortmund. He's young. Ask yourself, could Graham Zusi make Borussia Dortmund's bench? Probably not. I really don't think so.
I think the idea is that it's a pressure thing and they just want to slowly get him acclimated into that starting role.
But he doesn't seem like the pressure phases him.
Yeah.
Is playing at St. Vincent, is starting at St. Vincent a World Cup qualifier, does that entail more pressure than starting against Bayer Leverkusen in a Bundesliga match?
No, that's true.
I mean, he's a professional soccer player. He knows how to deal with the pressure. He's already proven that he is a top quality player and one of the best players on the team. I don't think that's superlative. I really don't. He's 7 matches in for the U.S. He hasn't started a single one, and he has 3 goals. That's a pretty good record.
Yeah, it is.
So I think he is just a great player. And Sasha Klejstin, we need more creative players like that. Hopefully he or Lee Win, one of those two, are part of the team going forward consistently.
I mean, we might not have seen Sasha Klejstin, if Jermaine Jones was healthy. So do you...
Well, that's true. Jermaine Jones did leave, but he came on the roster for John Brooks. He replaced John Brooks on his roster. I think we were always going to see him in this match because it's a low-pressure situation against St. Vincent, and Michael Bradley's suspended. So, and we didn't really miss Michael Bradley, but it was against St. Vincent the Grenadines. But yeah.
And that's why it's hard to kind of...
Well, I think one thing... I still think Kyle Beckerman is over the hill. I think that was still evident in this match. He did what he needed to do, but he's just a step behind. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's not as quick with his decisions as he used to be.
Yeah. I don't think it's that he makes a lot of mistakes. I just don't... He didn't look that present.
No.
That's the problem.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily a problem, because that's not... that's not what he wants to do. But I just think we already saw he's over it. I mean, he can't do it anymore. Kyle Beckerman is a player I really like, and he's the type of player I really like, an out-and-out defensive midfielder. I think we need another guy like that, but when you have... I guess Michael Bradley was suspended, so we don't know, and Jermaine Jones is injured, so we don't know what that's going to look like, but when you have players like Danny Williams, Alfredo Morales, Lyndon Gooch even, these players who these other central midfielders who are playing at a high level, those guys I feel like should be in the roster.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But one more thing before, I don't mean to cut you off. You need to win the match. So if Kyle Beckerman gives you the best opportunity to do that, I mean, I think we could have played 2 attacking midfielders and won the match.
Yeah, I don't really think that affected whether we won the match.
No, I know, but I mean, if you never know what's going to happen, right? So having that defensive cover might be a good thing. Especially with players like a player like Jeff Cameron, who really likes to push forward.
But you still think we could have started Clarkson?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And part of once these 2 players came on, 6 minutes later, Jordan Morris entered for Josie Altidore, and I didn't really. Maybe it was just because I was focusing on Christian Pulisic so much, but I didn't notice Jordan Morris that much, and that's not an indictment on him as a player. We know how talented he is. He's so young and he's scoring goals in MLS, but I just didn't see that much of him.
Yeah, I think once again he is a lone striker. But, we did see him go wide a little bit. I think having him and Bobby Wood together up top, I know I said I wanted to see them start together. They might both stay too central. Obviously, Jordan Morris has played on the wing before. But, yeah, you're right. He didn't do a whole lot. But he did pressure the St. Vincent defense. He was running at them. He was pressing. And I think that helped the game open up a little bit more for the U.S. and allowed the U.S. to have some of those chances at the end there.
Yeah, and I don't think we've talked about the 5th goal yet, but Christian Pulisic made a great run going down the left-hand side and had the composure to deliver a nice ball in the Kleshton, who had an open net and just scored.
Yeah, a nice tap-in. Kleshton obviously missed the chance a little bit later where maybe he should have passed it to Bobby Wood, but just a great match from him and both of them. And the 6th goal was the... I don't know, that was such a good goal.
Yeah, in the 92nd minute, Pulisic... receives the ball after passing it to Zuzi on the far side, and then he returns it to Kleshton in kind of the middle area, but then he lays it off to Pulisic, who has a couple
defenders. He doesn't really lay it off.
Yeah.
It's a good pass to the top of the box. Yeah, because he's on the... Kleshton is sort of on the... If you're looking at it straight on, he's on the right. He's towards the end line. Right. And he's able to put it back to the top of the box. And Christian Pulisic, curls it into the far corner. And
we weren't sure if it was deflected at first because it just seemed like a great shot.
Yeah, the goalkeeper was standing still. Great shot, and that right there is why he should be a starter on this team.
I agree. Do you think he will start against Trinidad?
I hope so.
I know we all hope so, but do you think he will?
I think so. I mean, how do you not? After having 2 goals and an assist, how do you not start? I mean, what more do you have to do?
Yeah.
And also, Gyasi Zardes is not on the roster, so what more do you have to do?
That's definitely true. And I think that we definitely at least need to see a cameo from Nagbe in the next match because, he didn't even get a substitution in this game. And I think that actually, if he played the majority of this game, that he would have just allowed Altidore and Wood to not have a burden in the midfield. And
right. Because Grams he has that work rate and he goes back on defense, but offensively he doesn't add a whole lot. This is one of the worst seasons he's had since he's been an MLS player. So I don't even know, why he's being called up. I don't know why he's starting. Especially when Fabian Johnson is in midfield. You would think, okay, so that opened... Well, we knew Ramsey was going to start. We all But push Magnolia out wide then and play Nagbe centrally.
Yeah, no, that sounds way better. All right, is there anything else you want to talk about regarding the St. Vincent and the Grenadines match?
No, man. Just that there's not too much to take from it, and hopefully Christian Pulisic starts against Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, agreed. That match is going to be on FS1 on Tuesday at 8 p.m. It'll be a better match to gauge, what this lineup will look like and, how we're actually doing because this was St. Vincent the Grenadines.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the U.S. does or Trinidad, because Trinidad is already through. And, of course, seeding doesn't really matter in the Hex. It only matters for scheduling. If we do beat Trinidad and Tobago, our first 2 matches are at home against Mexico and at Costa Rica. So maybe the U.S. throws the match as if that's something they don't want to do. Honestly, just get those 2 fixtures out of the way. And, if you can get 3 to 4 points out of those, I'm okay with that. Obviously I'm okay with that, but that should be our goal. And selfishly, I want us to play Mexico first because that's in Columbus and that's where I am.
But either way, they play Mexico in Columbus, right?
Yeah, but who knows? I know I'll be there on November 11th.
Right. But I actually do think that it would be better to get, because at least you're coming off. But we wouldn't beat Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
In that case, okay, yeah. So I don't know.
And we do have an international break in between with 2 friendlies.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, why don't we just guarantee that we can make the Mexico match in Columbus on November 11th?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
All right, we have some other things we want to talk about, not regarding U.S. soccer. So on transfer deadline day at the end of August, we saw David Luiz return to Chelsea for 34 million euros. They sold him to PSG a couple years before 50 million euros. What do you think about this deal, and do you think that he fits in with Antonio Conte's system?
I think it's a good move for Chelsea. They need some help at center back. They just need some cover. Does he fit into? No, I don't think so. Has he ever had a center back like that, who goes forward and who distributes the ball like that? I don't think so.
He likes to think in pass, I guess, but David Luiz likes to penetrate and then
Right. Well, the closest thing he's had to a center back like that is Martin Cáceres for Juventus, right? I don't know how much he played him.
Yeah, no, I think he was mostly.
Maybe he plays him. Maybe he plays him in midfield.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not a huge fan of David Luiz.
Right. I'm excited to see him back in the Premier League because I think he's just fun to watch. But yeah, I as a defender, I'm not a huge.
But we're gonna be more than often not, I think, talking about his lapses.
Yeah, that's true. Great for FIFA though to have him back in the Premier League.
Yeah,
great for Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I don't play Ultimate Team, but you do. I don't know. So
you're gonna play in FIFA 17, I guarantee you.
I'm done.
They're adding so much to it. Transfer deadline day is crazy.
In other FIFA news, what do you think about Cristiano Ronaldo having a higher rating than Lionel Messi?
I think in previous years it was deserved, but this year I just think they should have equal ratings at this point. But that's fine. Maybe I'll pack Messi this year since he's lower rated. But back to transfer deadline day. It was crazy. I was so mad that day because I'm an Everton supporter, for those of you who don't know. And I was so excited about this window, and we did some good things. But, the players we were linked with, Brahimi, Gabbiadini, Musa Sissoko, who decided to turn off his phone when Ronald Koeman tried to call him when he went to town. Did you know that?
Yeah.
We had a private jet for him. We had everything set up. To be honest, I didn't really want Musa Sissoko. I think I was telling you that beforehand.
No, that's way too much money.
Yeah, but that's just
how much were you linked with Juan Mata for?
Juan Mata, that was just an empty rumor.
That was an empty rumor. Yeah.
But Witsel was like 30 million.
Another Witsel.
Yeah, Brahimi was 40 million euros, so that's a lot of money. Gabbiadini was like 25, so that's what the market is right now. But those, it was just so disappointing and. I don't know.
That's why we do loan moves. That's why Roma does loan moves, dude.
Well, we loaned in Eder Valencia.
Oh, yeah. That was deadline day, right?
Yeah, that was deadline day. And there were some interesting moves. Wilfred Boney going to Stoke City. That was good for them. They also brought in Bruno Martins Indy, the Dutch defender. Right. So Stoke City gearing up. Not great for Jeff Cameron, but honestly, Stoke City looks so much better with Jeff Cameron in defense. Some other deadline day moves. Jack Wilshere to Bournemouth. Not great for Emerson Hyndman, but maybe good for Gideon Zelalem, who did not secure a loan. Matt Miazga went on loan to Vitesse in the Eredivisie, so hopefully he can get some playing time there. He was going to go to Espanyol. That sort of fell through. What are some other big big things that happen on deadline day. Not too many I can think of.
I'm blanking. What was Marcos Alonso to Chelsea on deadline day?
Yeah, that was on deadline day. Marcos Alonso to Chelsea. Interesting move to say the least. He can play left back, left mid. I mean, he can play really anywhere.
Yeah.
There's not too many I can think of right now because it was a couple of days ago. What are your overall thoughts about transfer deadline day? Leicester City brought in Islam Slimani.
Right.
That's a good deal. I think he's a great striker, so I'm excited to see him in the Prem. But back to your thoughts, Joe Hart to Torino.
But that was on deadline day?
I think that was the day before.
Yeah, I think it is. And I mean, if we're talking about Joe Hart, I don't know if that's a good move for him. I mean, sure, he's still playing a top league, but I would find it hard to believe that he couldn't have gone to any other Premier League club. I think that if he's going to be talked about amongst English fans, it's only going to be because he does something bad.
Yeah.
It's like if he has a great game for Torino, no English fans are going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with that move.
Well, I think I was listening to the Total Soccer Show, and something they were talking about was English players going abroad because there's no really good like Ravel Morrison plays for Lazio, I think. Is he still there? Mika Richards had played for Fiorentina in the past. But there's really no good English players abroad. So I think that might be good for English football. That being said, I don't think Joe Hart's the best keeper in England anyway. I think Jack Butland is when he's healthy. So, obviously, Sam Allardyce did call Joe Hart up. It'll be interesting to see if he plays him, if he starts him. I don't think he won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I don't know if Torino's the best move, but I don't think anyone really wanted him. No top team in England wanted him. So I think Sunderland was the only team he was linked with.
Well, why not there?
Seriously. Sunderland, Torino's a better team than Sunderland.
It's not about better team, though. I mean, I mean, England thinks that England is the best, right? So it's your whole thing about moving to MLS.
Yeah, but now he can be instead of being directly compared to Jack Butland, he can do good things in Italy, and people are like, oh, he's playing well in Serie A. Let's pick him. If he goes to Sunderland, if he's going to Sunderland and letting in a goal and a half per game, then of course people are going to say Jack Butland, Fraser Forster. These guys should easily be starting over.
Right.
So I don't think it's a bad move for him.
Yeah, no.
We'll see. The other thing, did you see that N'Golo Kante said that Manchester United were in for him, and that he rejected them for Chelsea? It's interesting.
Understandable, I guess.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'm not sure that many players would do that, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans right now love Antonio Conte,
right? And N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
So Conte and Kante.
And I think that I'm just really excited to see these three teams go at it. But there is a big game once we come off from international break. We've got Manchester City versus Manchester United in the Manchester Derby. Sergio Kun Aguero will be out for that match because of his 3-match ban. And
he elbowed Winston Reed in the face. The West Ham.
And I don't know how the referee didn't catch that. You've seen the video, right?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. And I think that means that United's going to win that game.
Yeah, I don't even know who the backup striker is now. Kenny Ihanicho.
Oh,
who's a good striker. And
they have the first backup.
He probably is. I think he went ahead of Boney last year. But yeah, I think that's a week away from now. We have United and City. I mean, we'll definitely talk about that match after it happens. But I would pick United right now.
All right. I mean, I think, did you mention Nigel De Jong's move before?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we were waiting out for that one. So we wanted to talk about LA Galaxy released Nigel De Jong and then he signed with Galatasaray, and I think this was on deadline day or maybe before deadline day. And but the big thing about this is that the video that MLS released on their website and on their Twitter, where they criticized Nigel De Jong and said it was a great move for LA,
right.
which is just
Well, which could be good, because if he was going to become a DP, then yeah, get rid of him. But the way they did it, I mean, there's a league. It's not the LA Galaxy. It's not an LA Galaxy fan group. It's the league. And I think that's, when we had the MLS lockout looming a couple years ago, MLSsoccer.com had no stories about the CBA or about anything. And that's the problem when the main outlet for news for the league is the league itself. It's obviously going to be super biased and super skewed, and we've seen MLS writers get fired in the past for sharing their opinion. I mean, so I think that's just one of the perils of a league covering itself. But the way they did it was ridiculous, and the rationale was just stupid. I mean, the fact that they said Nigel De Jong scored 0 goals in 0 games, or in 0 assists in his time. I mean, he's a defensive midfielder. You have Steven Gerrard, Giassi Zardes, Robbie Keane, Sebastian Lletget, and all these other guys on your team. I mean, Nigel De Jong's job is not to score goals or to make assists.
Exactly.
And they talked about his red card against Darlington Nagbe, which was bad, but it happens. Someone injured Giassi Zardes this weekend.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's just... And maybe I would understand it even a little bit more if they sold him. But, No,
I don't understand it at all.
I mean, neither do I, but...
I mean, he is a player in your league. No matter what, it makes no sense to criticize a player like that. That you employed. That, one, the league employs. Remember, he's not a DP, so his salary is paid by MLS.
Right.
It's just not fair to the player, too. So, I mean, just terrible, terrible PR stuff. And I'm not against the way MLS handles itself on social media, because some people think they're too informal, but I think that's the way we're going with social media. I mean, this summer we saw like NFL teams tweeting about Pokemon Go and Premier League teams starting to tweet at each other and stuff like that. So, I'm okay with that, but that was way too far. I mean, it wasn't even too far. It was just dumb.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
It's awful, actually, yeah. So, I mean, those were our thoughts on Nigel De Jong. Do you think he'll, succeed in the Turkish league?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's still a good player.
Good player, yeah. And that's pretty much all we have to talk about. Do you have anything else?
Just go check out Ambitious Strike, the soccer-themed apparel company. Check out ambitiousstrike.com. The link to the website is always in the description. And use the code BROTHERS at checkout for a 15% discount.
We have an email for this podcast. It's SoccerBrothersPodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter and Instagram handles are @SoccerBrosPod. If you're on SoundCloud, like or follow us. If you're on iTunes, review or rate us. You can also listen to us on Podkicker. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Podkicker.
Podkicker and Google Play. We're also there, too. So if you have an Android, you don't have to listen online on SoundCloud. And yeah, remember, stay tuned, because in 2 episodes we're going to have Landon Donovan on.
Right. And our website should be live soon. The URL for that is SoccerBrothersPodcast.com. So, pretty easy.
And our next episode, and I think Nihal mentioned this at the beginning, will be after the Trinidad and Tobago match, so you'll have our reactions and thoughts there. And we'll be in full swing after that with the Donovan interview and getting back into the club schedule. So
yep, and we have another guest lined up after that. I know we haven't even had Landon Donovan on yet, but it's exciting.
Do I know who this is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Lined up as in, like, he's agreed to this.
Maybe it's not a he.
Oh, her. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be after me.
Yeah.
Our potential. Okay,
yeah. We're working on it. We're working on getting more guests. We're excited about the next few weeks, next coming months. There's a lot of soccer going on.
Yep. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
We'll see you guys next time for episode 59 of the Soccer Brothers Podcast.